You guys like the pants? I'm gonna be honest, I think this is my favorite ornament shader combination that Hunter has to offer. I think this is absolute peak. Hey, what's going on? I'm just Soul. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about the TWID that came out today. That came out early for some reason, but not that I'm complaining. In the TWID, they essentially just recapped a lot of what they talked about in the live stream in word form, and also went into more detail on what the whole boss rush thing was that we're getting for Guardian games, along with talking a little bit about PvP tuning, mainly a smoke nerf. Thank God. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and comment. If you want to see more of my content, you subscribe. And with that, let's jump right in. Also, initially, I was going to have Nether as a background gameplay. Dude, I forgot how much I hated the Nether until I was actively doing one. And I was like, oh, right. The Nether is literally terrible. So they started off by recapping, they started off by saying, hey, guys, we had a live stream, which if you haven't seen, you definitely should go watch it. Or at least watch someone talk about it. Like, you know, my video yesterday, maybe. Just kidding. Then they started talking a lot about Guardian games, which is nice because in the live stream, they were like, hey guys, Guardian game starts the moment Act 2 starts, and then we were having a boss rush. And that was like it, which is fine because then they got to spend this entire TWID talking about it. Pretty much this like boss rush it's kind of like a baby Pantheon because it kind of follows the same rules. You kill bosses and you're on a time limit, and the faster you do it, the more rewards you get, stuff like that. And so pretty like basic, checks out kind of rules. I am excited for it. I like the 3 different difficulties. I like that they're doing this whole like, why is there an unstopped champion? I really like this new player variant of activities that they're doing now, that they're doing with both the dungeon and also this boss rush stuff. It's like teach you what all the encounters are and stuff. I actually like that they're doing this kind of like as a norm kind of thing. I actually really like it. And then they showed off some screenshots of the armor, which I really like the Greek thing. The Greek theme that they're going for. I think it looks really, really good. I really like the armor. I'm definitely gonna be buying the Hunter and the Warlock, mainly because I don't play Titan. So not that the Titan looks bad or anything, I don't play the class, so it doesn't get the bright dust out of me. They showed off the weapon, the new Trace, which the Trace is good. It's essentially kind of like a different rolled version of that other one. The Warlord's, is it Warlord's Lance? What is that one called? I don't know. The one from Iron Banner. They both have jolting, except for Iron Banner one has rewind jolting, and this one has overflow, which is kind of like the only difference. And so whichever one of those is your preferred one, whichever one you should go with. But they're both like good. Like whichever one you end up picking, you'll be fine either way. I don't have a melee. There. Now I have a melee. Dude, they making it to where Ascension procs your dodge. Big W. Big W buff to Ascension. Actually, that's kind of it. They showed the armor off. We're getting the skimmer back, which is nice because I actually didn't get it. I didn't play Guardian games last year, so I never actually ended up getting that skimmer. So I'm glad I'll be able to get it. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't give it to us again. I really hope that we end up getting more endgame stuff moves to skimmers. Because, dude, I'm be honest, I don't think sparrows are in anymore, dude. I don't think people get sparrows. And so, like, the new trials, like, sparrow. Like, dude, like, it's cool. I like the scarab. I like how much it moves. I think it's super, like, interesting. But, like, dude, I'm never going to run it because it's not a skimmer. You know what I mean? I feel like skimmers have power crept sparrows. As weird as that sounds. Whoa, what do you think you're doing? Oh, he's dead. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's just how I feel about skimmers. I feel like no one really runs sparrows anymore. And so when we get like a new sparrow, it's like, dude, no one cares. Hopefully, whatever the new raid is that we're getting in Frontiers has a skimmer, because I think that'd be pretty cool. The other thing is they showed like they're having like a boss rush roulette, which I like. Also, my teammate just died to the lasers. That's a skill issue. I like these content creator event things that they're doing now. I don't know how long they've been doing them, mainly because I don't really care. I haven't really cared or like noticed until like super recently. I feel like they've been doing this for like most of the things that are like Final Shape until now. Maybe they've been doing it before then and I just haven't been paying attention, but I don't know, I really like them. I think they're cool. Hi, teammate. You can start it if you want. Oh, do you have to wait for the Slayer Baron himself to get over here? This is awkward. And so it is kind of funny that they talk about recycled energy on the Trace. Dude, recycled energy is so bad. Okay. Anyway, my internet crashes again. I mean, if I get kicked again, then it's skill issue. I don't know. I hope this isn't the only PvP changes, but if it is, it's fine. I mean, like, this is kind of really the only problem. They're nerfing RDMs. Sorry, that. I wish they were nerfing RDMs. They're nerfing Redrix, and which they already said, we already knew they were going to do that. And they're also hitting on the Prowl in the correct spot. I didn't think they actually were going to hit on the Prowl. I was a little worried because they weren't even talking, they weren't even acting like it was a problem. Dude, I hate on the Prowl, I'm going to be honest. On the Prowl is such a nightmare. Anything Night Stalker related, Invis related, I absolutely despise. I always have. I have absolutely hated it. Especially ever since 3.0 came out. And so I've hated on the Prowl. But it sounds like they actually understand that it is somewhat of an issue. And they're going after the smoke part of it, which I agree with. Yes, Invis is annoying, but dude, smokes are so strong. Especially 3.0 smokes. Like, smokes were already pretty good back when we had skill trees. But no one really used them offensively because Void was super... All the exotics and stuff that we had for it were all super invis related. And so most of the time, you didn't use your smokes offensively. You just used them to go invisible, and that's it. Use them in a defensive sense. But ever since 3.0s and like Gear Falcon, and then especially when Prismatic got a hold of them, where Prismatic essentially has no form of invis whatsoever other than stylish, people were like, man, dude, I can use a smoke offensively? Ah. And then they realized how much of a problem smokes are. Because, dude, smokes are really good. I'm glad that they're attacking smokes. And, man, dude, they are hitting smokes where they need to be hit. Because the dot's not a problem. The blind's annoying, but it's a smoke. If it didn't blind, that would be weird. I like that they're hitting, like, the movement penalties of it. Because it all kind of started with when smokes just inherently reduced movement speed, and then it also weakened, which weaken also reduces movement speed intrinsically. Boop. It's my favorite part about this strike, is that right there. And so that was like the issue with smokes is their movement, their essentially double movement speed penalty. And so they reduced its inherent one because weaken having its an inherent slow wasn't the problem. It was the fact that it had both. And so they didn't touch weakens, and they touched that one instead, which is good. So I'm glad they did it that way. And so they're essentially doing it again, but instead of making the inherent weaken, I think they're just removing it. Smoke debuff no longer reduces player movement speed or jump height, no longer reduces player weapon handling, and no longer suppresses player movement abilities. Now, I don't entirely know what that means. I don't know if that includes sliding or like sprinting, because not being able to slide does kind of suck. But I know that's like, I know for sure that's like dodge and Icarus dash and like thruster, and so very nice. The reason that it's so good now is because, like, dude, on the Prowl, if you and your teammate are beside each other and your teammate dies, like, they're the one that's selected by God to fall, and they die, dude, you lost that engagement. You will lose as well. It's just, like, the blind and the slow and the weak, just everything. It's too much for just one singular melee ability to have access to, really. I'm glad that when it comes to on the Prowl, they realize that it is the smoke that is the issue. Because the invis is, whatever. Yes, invis is really, really annoying, but, what can you do? It's not going anywhere. They've hit invis 4 million times, and it's never done anything to it, so, I don't know, take the L on it, really. It's just gonna forever be an issue. And so, I'm interested to see, in my opinion, and I know that they're probably never going to do this because they can't split the patches between PvE and PvP, but I'd really like it if on the Prowl had an activation requirement. That's really all it is. I really do think that the smoke that spawns from it should consume your melee smoke. And so, sure, like, you can have successful hunts all you want, like, that's fine. I don't mind the successful hunt, but it's really like, I just have an issue with the amount of smokes that spawn. But them hitting smokes in this way, I'm fine with it. I'm hoping that this will fix the smoke issue, like hitting the smokes directly instead of the amount of smokes that spawn from onto the Prowl is the better approach. I'm gonna trust them with it, so let them do their thing, and we'll just kind of see. And they're reducing the glow itself that on the Prowl has, which is fine. I do agree that it is semi-oppressive. It is pretty bright, but in no way is it like a problem. But I'm cool with it, mainly because it's like it's talking about your first person and also in third person, which I'm assuming it means like everyone else, how everyone else sees it. Yeah, I'm cool with that because like I don't need to know that my teammate is being the victim of a predator. That sounded kind of weird, but I don't care. Other than it's like, that's like a calm thing. It's like, dude, teammate, you're in danger, dude. Like, you got a predator on you. Be careful. But like, I don't need that information. I don't know. My teammate should just not die. That's a skill issue. And then there's Redrix S-Stock, which we'll see how that goes. The reason I say that is, let me pull it up real quick. Teammate's got this. Pull the numbers. The thing about Redrix S-Stock, I just don't know what its problem is. Yes, the forgiveness is annoying. Yes, the fact that it 2 bursts with sword logic is annoying. Yes, does it have way too much range and handling and its stats are way too big? Sure. But at the same time, before they got buffed, before this update came out, I don't really think 450s had a problem. Dude, I like lightweight. Lightweight pulses are really, really good. You know, regular BXR was really good. And then like lightweights, like Chattering Bone and Nightshade, Battle Scar, all these, like I didn't have an issue. I didn't think they were weak. You know what I mean? Especially Omolon ones, because Omolon Fluid Dynamics is broken. I didn't have an issue with any of them. But I guess they felt like they were weak, so they had to buff them. But I just disagree with the buff in the first place, but it's whatever. And so essentially what they're doing is they're drawing back on that buff a little bit, which is fine because that is like, I agree, like that's the issue, that it never should have got buffed in the first place. And so them kind of drawing back a little bit, still keeping it still in a buffed state compared to what it was before, but not as strong as it is now. And so I'm totally cool with that. Though the sword logic nerf is something. I mean, we could just, dude, the handling nerf, dude, they're reducing it by 5. Like, you genuinely won't even notice the nerf to it. So that's like really strange. And so this is where like sword logic comes into. My problem with sword logic is that, one, you gave it to the default one. That was your first mistake. The free one shouldn't have got sword logic. Okay, and then on top of that, just take it off the gun. Like, this is my problem. This was my problem with Bygones as well. High ground had never been an issue on any other guns. Completely fine, completely balanced. No one had any problem with it. Then you put it on Bygones, and so it becomes a permanent 2-burst machine that kills way too fast and with way too much ease, because it could like 5-head 1-body people at like literally any resale. And so instead of them addressing it on that specific gun, which was the only gun it had an issue on, they just nerfed it across the board. And so they're doing the same thing with sword logic, where it's like it's a problem on one gun. Like, dude, it being on Word of Crota, no issue. It's on like Word of Crota. It's on Oversoul Edict, Abyss Defiant, Song of Ute. Like, dude, like, and no one cares. No one cares because it's not a problem on those guns. But it's only a problem on Redrix. So just take it off the gun. You'd have never had to nerf sword logic if it just wasn't on the gun that is the only gun that has a problem with it. Because I promise you, people weren't running this on Abyss Defiant and being like, hey, my Abyss Defiant kills in 0.2 seconds and it's broken in OP. No one was doing that, mainly because that auto rifle is terrible anyway. And also because it wasn't a problem with it. That's my opinion. I don't think it ever should have gotten sword logic. I think they should just take sword logic off of it. I don't think they should have given the free one with sword logic. That's just my opinion. I'd love to hear what you think. With that being said, that's all I got. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and a comment. If you want to see more of my content, you subscribe. I'm just Soul, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.